Do you want to ask it differently? Yeah.
That's my question.
Tell me.
Altruism is the spirit of placing the interests of others before one's own
Yeah,
interests.
I know altruism, but
And when one performs karma yoga as per one's swadharma,
yeah.
does that automatically take care of altruism, or does that remain separate from it?
Yeah, see, that's a good question. In Vedanta, we say that it is not totally possible to be completely altruistic. To be completely altruistic is not totally possible. And the reason for this is unless one is a jnani, then it's different. So even with something where I put somebody else before myself, let's say, then there is an element of self-interest. Because that's how it is. There is empathy. Empathy means what? As a human being, I have empathy. I can't stand to see people suffer. There is natural empathy, great and natural empathy, and that empathy is really, really wonderful. It defines us as human beings. It is wonderful, it is necessary, and it is important to act on that empathy. So when we act on that empathy, we end up reaching out and helping others. And when we do that to help others, primarily, and not really for the sake of karma phala, yes, on the face of it, it is altruistic. But altruism is a gift that already gives its dividends. Because if I feel happy by helping somebody, I have already gained the karma phala, even though I did not want it. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, so I am happy when I help somebody, and in fact, not helping them, I feel bad. Oh, I could have helped them, I was in the position to help them, and yet I chose not to help them. And so I feel bad because of that. And then, so therefore, it is not possible to be, you can't say, one cannot really say, I'm doing it only for your sake. There is something very suspicious there. Yeah. So, I'm doing it for your sake, but I also benefit. Because in a sense, we are all connected. That connection is there. Not only with other humans, but also other living things, living beings. We are connected with that. And therefore, what we call altruism is in a way something that already benefits us. When we help others, then we are also helped in the process in sometimes very invisible and not so obvious ways. I don't know if I got to the question, but yeah, that is the connection.
So does that mean altruism does not exist?
No, altruism can exist. As a philosophy and as this thing, it can exist, but it takes a great Mahatma to be truly. It takes a great Mahatma to be truly altruistic in that sense. Have no self-interest whatsoever in helping somebody else. And I think of great sages, teachers, gurus, whatever you have, and they don't have, like I think of my own guru, who had zero self-interest, and it was very, very true that even when he taught, it was not even with the expectation that everybody would get moksha. Even that expectation was not there. He taught with such freedom, and whatever he did was very, very free. So I can't say it does not exist, because I have myself witnessed it. But I would say that it takes a lot of clarifying one's purpose, one's ragas, dveshas, and one's ways of one's hidden agenda for the world, for people in it, etc., etc. And that it is not impossible, but it takes to be a jnani, to have self-knowledge in order to be truly altruistic. But we use the term very generally speaking, and loosely used. I don't think whoever says I'm doing it for altruistic purposes may not be, maybe, but may not be. So that is what we have to see. Okay. Yeah. Then, in an earlier class, you talked about flowing with life and the world around. Can't this approach lead to a herd mentality? Clearly, the actions of the majority are not always correct or appropriate. Isn't it better to let one's own compass guide one's action? Yes, provided the compass is not misted up from inside. Sure. Provided the compass is pointing in the right direction. So, when I talk about going with the flow, it's the flow of not what everybody is doing. That's not the flow I'm talking about. It's not the flow of the majority. It is the flow of dharma. And if we look in the world today, especially today, these days, dharma is not very popular. It's not followed by the majority. Okay? And so, this is the situation. So, this is the situation, and so therefore we have to, when we say go with the flow, it's the flow of dharma, three kinds of dharma. Samanya dharma, that those values which one must not violate at any cost, at any time, in any place, number one. And then the second thing is Vishesha dharma. What is Vishesha dharma? Vishesha dharma is this, Vishesha dharma is the interpretation of Samanya dharma in specific situations with specific people in the light of what is to be done. And then we have Swadharma, which is in two parts, what I have to do in any given situation and what is my purpose in life, why am I born. Those two things are Swadharma. And that is your unique flow. It doesn't have to be what the whole world is doing. It is not sheep flock mentality. It is the flow of dharma and how you articulate it, how you live it, and how you take it forward, and how you discover your purpose for which you have been incarnated in this life. It is unique to you. But it is a flow. There is a flow. Because it's like when there is an escalator going up. Sometimes what children do, they try to come down on that which is going up. So it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and sometimes it's going down and they are trying to climb up on it. It's okay to play. But then in life, if we try doing that, then we are exerting ourselves and going against the flow. That's what. The flow is unique to you. Everybody has a groove. If you don't like the word flow, you can use the word groove. Everybody has a groove. Everybody has a tune. Everybody has has something that is meant for them. And it is there, but it is obfuscated by what I think I should be doing, what I want to be doing, and how I want to be doing it, etc., etc. Because of that, that it takes time to clear that obfuscation. But it's good to remember that going along with the flow is a good way to get ready for moksha, for this knowledge. Next one. Self-realization and God realization, are they both same? Yeah, because self is the God that we want to understand and discover. So, that is the correct. Because in the Mahavakya, what is talked about is the equation. And what is this equation between? The equation is between the jiva, who the individual, and Ishvara. Who is Ishvara? Bhagavan, God. And this is not Ishvara who is a guy in the sky. It is Ishvara manifest in the form of order. Ishvara manifest as the intelligence behind that order. Ishvara manifest as all the aspects of creation, name, form, etc. What we call goddess is included in that. What we call Lord, God is included in that. It has no gender. It has really no name, no form, but all forms are its forms, and it is essentially nameless and formless. I too, as a jiva, am essentially nameless and formless, so that is how the equation is made. And so since the equation is between jiva and Ishvara, understanding Atma Jnanam is Ishvara Jnanam, because Atma is Ishvara. There is no Atma separate from Ishvara. So that is correct. Oh, there is part 2. What is that? What is the purpose of life by a self-realized person? The purpose of life by everybody. Why just a why just a person with self-knowledge? The purpose of life by everybody is to live, and to live without hurting oneself or hurting others. This is the purpose of life. Just simply to live. Because I'm already incarnated. I have this body, I have this mind. I was already born related. Somebody claimed me as a child. The so-called caregivers, parents, whatever. Somebody claimed me as a grandchild. Somebody claimed me as a sister, as a brother. And somebody else said, oh, this is my nephew, this is my niece. One is born related. One has to negotiate these relationships without hurting oneself, without hurting others. This is everybody's purpose of life. And what is the jnani's purpose in life, if you ask? The purpose in life is to gain jnana. And then, after the enlightenment, what? What is one to do? Whatever the person wants. And this is not decided by the person, really, because there is no will at this level. The will has mingled with what we called in the earlier question as the flow. The will, the cosmic will, if we can use that, if you will, the cosmic will and the individual will, between the two, there is no difference. There is no individual will at all. It's all just one huge will. And so therefore, there is no particular agenda. So, but if the jnani desired, the jnani could go places, or the jnani could remain in one place. But really, they don't decide. It's the prarabdha that decides. In the Brahma Sutra, a wonderful image is given. A farmer in the middle of autumn rakes the garden. What is there on the garden? Dried leaves are there. All the dried leaves are taken up, raked up, and put in a heap. Then he goes to get one gunny bag to put all that and to use it for composting. So when he goes to the back side of the garden to get the gunny bag, a small gust of wind comes, swirls in the dried leaf heap, dislodges a leaf, a dried leaf, which goes sailing in the wind. Where will it go? Where will it fall? What was its journey before? And where will it end up? Nobody knows. But the will, but what we know is that the leaf is not directing this. The leaf did not say, did not even pray, oh, I am with a heap of this, this useless heap of people and other leaves, people, and I need to be lifted up. I'm special, I'm unique. I need to, my end is not near yet. I need to fly around, I need to get this, I need to get that. It doesn't say, it doesn't pray. Why this leaf and not that leaf? Nobody knows. It's part of the expression of the cosmic will. And the cosmic will here is since the life of the Jnani is for the betterment of everybody. The Jnani does not have any kind of an individual agenda, and so the Jnani spends the time just blessing, a beneficial, benefactory presence in the world. And so the Jnani is happy being who he or she is. But the Jnani has, at least on part of the onlookers, the remaining life to live, aka prarabdha. And how that prarabdha gets expressed is interesting. Some people, after their studies, after gaining self-knowledge, are just in one place. In fact, whole life they are in one place. We look at Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi. He just went, settled in Tiruvannamalai, hardly moved. He would just take a little walk, as much as was needed for the body to survive and to be fit. He would go do this, do that. He had his daily things. And then he lived there and passed away there. And some other people, like even our Pujya Swamiji, every place, here, there, everywhere. He didn't even get to choose where he would die. That choice was also taken away from him. Why was that choice taken away from him? That choice because the devotees. He told me, he said, they are not even going to let me die right here, because he was very sick and the kidneys were failing when he was in America. And then he was in the hospital with dialysis, and one day I went to see him, there were some other people there, and he looked at me and he said, they're not letting me die here. I said, why not, Swamiji? I asked him. So he said, they think Mahatmas should not die in America. And he laughed, he gave a wry smile, and he gave also examples of many Mahatmas who had passed away in America. That was his response. But still he said, this body is no longer my body. I have presented it, or rather the devotees, all the devotees together have claimed this body as theirs. And he said, this is not my body. So okay, it's just a body. Let them do with it as they please. If they think I should die facing the Ganga, so be it. It's okay. And it was not resignation. It was a gift. It was his parting gift in a way. It was very, very beautiful. But then he said, even in the same breath with which he said, this body belongs to all the devotees, and he had a ghost of a smile and he says, but I have to endure all the pain. The devotees don't take away the pain. So it's like that. There is no will even to decide, okay, I want this kind of a death, I want to go here, and after that this is what I want happen to this body. Some people get to control and choose everything. Even after they die, they get to control in the form of will, which is mostly a won't, and then you won't do this, you won't do that, otherwise you won't get the money. So this kind of a will, and so they get to control long after they have gone. This is the stuff for Agatha Christie and other murder mysteries. So like this, but for the Jnani, there is no agenda. Like the dried leaf, she flows, he flows. He just goes wherever prarabdha takes. But even if the person does not do anything, doesn't even utter a blessing, does not even say live long and happy, the presence of the Jnani, the Mahatma, is itself a blessing. The presence itself is a blessing. And so wherever they go, they bless. And as we saw in the Viveka Chudamani, Shanto Mahanto Nivasanti Santaha Vasantavalloka Hitam Charantaha Tirna Swayam Bhima Bhavarnavam Anyan Ahetuna Tarayantaha. Like the spring bursting into a riot of colors, they bless and they delight everything with their mere presence, all without a purpose and without a reason and without exacting something in return. What can I get in return? That feeling is not there. They are not looking for that at all. So that is that. Then next one. What are the main similarities between Vedanta and Yoga, Yoga Sutra? Are there any points of disagreement between them? Yeah. Similarities means, yes, there are, let's talk of the differences first. The Yoga Sutras, the purpose of what they consider moksha, the purpose of life is nirvikalpa samadhi. Mastering samadhi is equal to self-knowledge, according to them. Because the self is without vikalpa. And they are right about that. But they get into this experiencing self-knowledge in the form of samadhi. This is the yoga system of Patanjali. So it is more in the, what is that? It is more the sadhana, where the sadhana itself becomes the goal. This is what it is. The sadhana itself becomes the goal, and this is more of that kind of a philosophy. This is the main difference. We say that samadhi is a means to an end. It can help to give an uncluttered mind, and a mind that it can, you can see that you don't have to be frightened if you don't have thoughts. You don't have to be worried that it's a decimation of your very being if you don't have thoughts. That is not the point of it. So here it is not the end, because you come out of samadhi, and then what happens? What happens when you come out of samadhi? You are not transformed. What are you? You are still in the main this thing. You are still in the same old situation. How you were before you entered samadhi, the same person will encounter you after you come out of samadhi. Same raga, same dvesha, same fears, same insecurities. What had happened to them now during the samadhi? For a little while they had been suspended. Now in Vedanta we are not trying for a cessation of thoughts. We are not trying for neither are we trying for the cessation of thoughts, nor are we trying for controlling the thoughts, nor are we trying for silence, the cultivation of silence. Because silence is not Atma. Because if we say Atma is silence, what about noise? Noise is not Atma? Everything is Atma, therefore what? Noise is also Atma. Silence is also Atma. And so, it is not opposed to noise, it's not opposed to silence. And so, therefore what? Therefore, it is not in any way opposed to any experience, any thought or thoughtlessness. And then why do we want thoughtlessness? The thoughtlessness practice helps us to clear this huge hurdle of being confused during the day about the nature of the self. No time to contemplate, no time to sit back and relax. So therefore the silence is advocated. It's not that it's Atma's nature. No. Atma is discovered in silence, that also I cannot say. We can say it's easier to understand that I, which is free of roles, which is free of thoughts, in a place of from a place of silence rather than in the everyday life, in the din of the everyday life. So samadhi is not our final purpose. Our final purpose is basically gaining this understanding that whether it is noise or whether it is silence, I am free of both. This is Vedanta. Yes? Amrita Bindu.
They have said through meditation, Om leads to Brahman.
No, leads to means indirectly. Prepares you for the knowledge and then leads you. You read any commentary worth its, Vedantic commentary, they will all say that. That way, even in the Kathopanishad it says, Kenopanishad also it will say, it will lead to Brahman. This practice will lead to Brahman. Lead means first in steps. First it will clear the heart of ragadveshas, then it will, that is chitta shuddhi, then focus and focus will come with a practice of quietude, tranquility, meditation. What will happen? You will have chitta naishchalyam, focus, and then you will study, whatever you study will go in a little more. And then you will understand. That is the idea. It's all the practices. The practices are karma based, even in the Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Karma is like oil, to the water. Karma and jnana. If jnana is water, karma is oil. So karma and jnana do not mix. Action and knowledge, there is no mixing up. Because what we need is knowledge because of, remember this example. What is this example? I don't even have to complete the sentence. You all know. What is this example? The lost glasses. The so-called lost glasses. So which yogasana shall I do? What kind of samadhi shall I practice? Savikalpa samadhi or nirvikalpa samadhi to get back the glasses? None of it. I have to be told by a good Samaritan that they are right here on top of your head. So I am already the possessor of the glasses. They are as though lost. Here too, I am already the possessor of Atma. In fact, I am Atma. The possessor-possessed relationship even is not there. I am Atma. And then what? So if I am Atma, then there is nothing to do. To quote unquote realize it. It's already realized. In fact, that's why I don't use the word realization. Because it's already realized. Swata siddha vastu. I have to know it. And in order to know it, I need a proper means of knowledge. That's why we are spending time talking about the means of knowledge. Because once the Kenopanishad opens, you will see that. You will see why it is very important to do this. Okay? So, this is one of the main point of disagreement. Similarities are there in terms of sadhana, in terms of understanding that the quietude is needed, so many things are needed, etc. Okay. Every time I come to India, I get illness. In brackets, this is not a complaint. No, I'm not taking it as that, okay? However, can I consider it as prarabdha karma? Yes and no. Yeah. You could say it's prarabdha karma In fact, India has that effect on everybody. Not illness, but bringing out the prarabdha karma. It quickens the prarabdha karma. India gives mumukshutvam, really. India is the best place to have jignasuta mumukshuta. No other place prepares one for self-knowledge than India. Really. Not that you shouldn't be studying it under cushier circumstances in America or some other European country, no problem. You can do that. But India has this effect because it is outwardly very chaotic, but inwardly very still. It's a very interesting paradox. Since everybody operates from a center, a kind of a God center of inner stillness, they can afford to be chaotic, unruly, not following any rules outside, and then still completely everything goes as planned. And the only law that seems to work in India is a law called Murphy's Law. What is Murphy's Law? If anything has to go wrong, it certainly will. So so don't take it personally. India takes care of everybody's prarabdha. Yeah, it quickens and hastens the prarabdha. Why? Because what has brought you to India is not the desire to take a ride in the, what is that called? Palace on wheels. Even if you have that desire, you will wait till the end of the course and then go. You see, that kind of a desire it is. You can suspend it until it is time to fulfill it. You have a certain freedom. So if you have come primarily for the sake of self-knowledge, Mother India will take care that you get self-knowledge. And so it has a way of preparing one. And the reason for that is that because it is a choiceless culture. It used to be even more. Choiceless culture. You go to any dhaba. Dhaba means some kind of a diner. You go there and then do what? You go at lunchtime, you say, where is the menu? What menu? What's for lunch? Lunch is what's for lunch, okay? Yeah. And then they'll just say, you order, okay, just give me lunch. Okay, good. All right. And then you'll get a plate, a thali it is called, and then there will be some cups in it filled with things that you have never chosen, and left to yourself you would have never chosen, never eaten. But here it is. And so remember that story of that religious leader who wanted lot of chutney but no idli? Those possibilities very rarely are there. And so one gets used to this choicelessness, and it's a great antidote for ragadvesha. But coming to this question here, prepares one for knowledge. Yes, you can consider it prarabdha karma, it is there, but since the regularity of it, each time you come to India, it is happening. So I would suggest, going to the root of it, and taking some measures like washing hands and sanitizing hands all the time and wearing mask if needed, whatever it is that one does to take care of oneself. One can also pray for this, to learn from this, and what is it that I'm missing? What is it that I'm not seeing? Please help me understand this. One can pray for this cycle to be broken and taken away also. Next one. In medical action, euthanasia, can you explain action by one's will, however, disturbs one's prarabdha karma? This is a very good question. This euthanasia is allowed in some European countries and some states in the United States also. Maybe in Canada also it's allowed, I think. This is when somebody has a terminally ill diagnosis. Terminal diagnosis, meaning this we have seen in thousands of people with the same disease. We know the end. We means the medical establishment, and even all of us who have understood little bit about that illness know the end. We know its trajectory. We know that this is incurable. Like there are many such diseases like that. ALS, also called Lou Gehrig's disease, where all the smooth muscles are attacked. The person cannot move, the person is paralyzed, person cannot swallow, cannot drink, cannot eat. The last days are excruciating. Certain forms of cancer also, unfortunately. If it is metastasized beyond the point of alleviating it through radiation, chemotherapy, whatever you want, if it is not possible, short of a miracle, which is always possible in these situations, short of a miracle, if there is a terminal diagnosis, the medical science provides for some kind of a mercy out of this world, a way out. And this is not in contradiction to the Shastra. Why? Because we are looking at it from the standpoint of dharma. Standpoint of dharma to oneself, to one's body, and also from the standpoint of how much expenditure, how much work it is for somebody to take care of, whether it's the loved ones or whether one is in a home or a hospital or whatever it is. In a way, it is allowing something to go gracefully, that which was going anyway. It is not against the Shastra. In fact, we see Mahatmas who have done that. When they know that their purpose in life is over, they have Svecha. Svecha means by their own will, they can allow themselves to depart from the body. We see that in a very famous saint in South India, Raghavendra Swami. And he told everybody to bring one brick, all his close devotees. And they all got excited. They thought, oh, Swami is building some wonderful temple or something. They brought the bricks, but it was to build a tomb around him. He says, I have finished my work. There is no place for this anymore. It will go. And that's what he did. And so like this, there are examples of that. And so it is, if it is a genuine thing, not where somebody is using this as a form of suicide, then it is wrong. But this is not suicide, so then it is in keeping with the Shastra, it is not against the Shastra. Same-sex marriage has increased due to being more acceptable by the public. Can I consider it normal according to the Shastra because Brahman has no gender? Yeah, sure. If not, please explain why. Yeah, it's whatever Bhagavan allows has to be considered normal. Yeah, normal means whatever, whether one approves or not. This is not about how anybody feels about it. People may have some strong feelings either way, and everybody is entitled to their opinion. But that is here. That is here. It's been here for a long time. And then we find examples from ancient India also. And so therefore, it is here. It has been here. So it's okay. It is whatever it is, it's okay. Who are we to judge how people want to be in partnership? Who are we to judge? Last one. Why is it we dream? Why do we dream? Well, because two reasons. One is it's the best form of sleep according to medical science. It really gives the body a chance to relax. And then the Shastric reason for dream is unrequited desires, and also prarabdha exhaustion happens in dream. Very, very interesting. Exhaustion of prarabdha happens in dream. Like supposing somebody dreams of being imprisoned. OMG, I'm in jail, the person says in the dream. And in the dream, they don't know it's a dream. So the panic is real. Oh, how did I end up here? And how long I'm imprisoned for? Oh, 1 year. Oh my God. And that whole 1 year is what? 2 seconds in the dream, in real time. Oh my God, I've been imprisoned. I've not done anything wrong. Still I've been imprisoned. And the horror of it, the shock, the pain, the sorrow, the anger, and the feeling of how the betrayal, all this is there. And then you wake up with a sigh of relief. Thank God. Thank God I'm not in jail. What just happened? There was a Karavasa Prarabdha. Karavasa means jail. Karavasa Prarabdha, there was a little bit of jail Prarabdha. And it was just a tiny Prarabdha. And because it was a tiny Prarabdha, it got exhausted in the dream. Thank God. Yes. So dream is a powerful way of doing Prarabdha exhaustion without going through the agony in the waking state. So that is why dreams are also an outlet of raga dveshas. And then we have also talked of lucid dreamings, which is very rare, which are those dreams are could be prophetic in nature. Prophetic in nature. What's the difference between Ishvara, Bhagavan, and Brahman? Synonyms. They are synonyms. When we refer to Brahman, we refer to the essential intrinsic lakshana of Brahman, definition of Brahman, which is Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. When we refer to the Bhagavan, we are talking of that intrinsic definition plus the incidental definition, which is what? Jagat Karta, Jagat Dharta, Jagat Samharta, the creator, sustainer, and resolver of this universe. So the second definition, Ishvara, Bhagavan, all that, the second definition is that same Satchidananda activated, so to speak, by Maya Shakti, and then is responsible for as though projecting, sustaining, and taking back, resolving this universe. So in relation to the universe, we give this Brahman a cause, a status of a causality. And that causality is as though superimposed upon this Satchidananda Atma, which is free of that causality. It is free of that causality. And so therefore what? So this way we understand this very, very well. It's free of that causality, so the causality is mithya. It's a superimposition, as it were, for a time being, but yet we cannot bypass this because we are living in a manifest Jagat. No, I want pure Brahman, I don't want Ishvara. So what are you going to do? I'll study Vedanta after everything comes to an end, after the Jagat also comes to an end. Is that a good plan? No. Why not? Nobody is there. You are not there, Guru is not there, books are not there, the variegated universe is not there, questions are not there. I want this knowledge, that thought is also not there because it's non-duality. Pralaya means non-duality. Everything is in a state of suspension. So you can't wait, you can't say I want only pure Brahman, I want only the intrinsic definition, I don't want the incidental definition. If one says that, then there are authority issues that one has to resolve. Ishvara allergy is because of authority issues in childhood. No other reason. Because the Ishvara propounded by the tradition, not even propounded, we can say the Ishvara discovered by this tradition is not one guy in the sky. It's not an individual. It is the very truth of ourselves. And that is what step by step we learn to understand and embrace. Does the cheating in Sanskrit, chanting, okay? So I was like, okay, what's going on? Does the chanting in Sanskrit have any healing effect? Yes, definitely. That's why there are swaras. They have healing effect, and there's a lot about intentionality, the throwing of the voice, and it also is very slimming. Yeah, that's why all the pandits can have a cup of ghee with every meal. Yeah, because they need that energy to chant. Because you don't chant from the throat, you chant from the belly, you chant from the stomach. So therefore, the more we practice that, it heals not only the person chanting, but everybody around. Okay? Yes. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet, Asato Ma Sadgamaya, Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amritangamaya. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.